So I gave my written review of it. I think it's about time to give a video review of Mad Max Fury Road, and here are my thoughts about what I saw in theaters. Let's just get this out the way. This movie is simply amazing. Like, that's the bottom line about it, and it really can't be disputed. Dare I say, probably the best movie of 2015 thus far, and that's saying a lot. I mean, we've already had Furious 7 come out, which is big. We had Age of Ultron come out, which was big, but this is a little bit different. And just to be clear, I've never seen any of the original Mad Max films. Like, there were 3 prior to this. I've never seen any of them. So my knowledge of Mad Max and that entire universe was pretty much little to none. So I really didn't know what to expect coming into this movie. If we go back about 6 months, 7 months, the trailers that began to come out for this movie already had gotten me excited. Like, I was seeing things that I've never seen before from a trailer. From a franchise that I've never really been familiar with, seeing the trailers always got me giddy. Like, every time I would see them, I would like get super excited because I would see all of this stuff that was just really stylistic, really different, and it was a hell of a lot of action. So I mean, to get into the movie, to talk about some details, the movie's plot is pretty simple. I think it's really easy to follow. Furiosa, who was played by Charlize Theron, she takes the wives of Immortan Joe, who's like the dictator of this post-apocalyptic world. She takes them away, to get them their freedom. Obviously, he's not happy about that. Like, he's pretty pissed about that because that's his property, as he liked to say it. So from there, you get Max, played by Tom Hardy, who's captured. And eventually, as the movie progresses, him and Furiosa's character, as well as the other supporting characters who were the wives, encounter each other. Now, I mean, once we get this out the way, from here, it's just non-stop action. Like, from start to finish, just everything is just off the page in this movie. And what I appreciate about it as a fan, of just film in general, everything pretty much was done with practical effects, like practical real action. Yes, obviously there was some CGI involved to do some more large-scale things that just aren't possible to do in a practical manner, but I would say at least like 95% of this film was done with practical, real effects. And for me, I always preferred that because, CGI, obviously you get to do a lot more things, but there's something about using practical effects that just heightens the stakes. Like, it just makes everything that much more real. And it makes you believe that these characters can legit be in danger. They could, at any point in time die throughout the film because there's just that real imminent danger that exists with, like, practical action and effects. Go along with that, like, the cinematography for this film was amazing too. Like, the color palette, the desert, the desert oranges and everything that was associated with that. And then when it went nighttime, it was this blue, tint that just, fell over the desert. All of those things really played into the sense of this stylized movie that focuses on, visuals as well as, character development. And I mean, speaking of character development, all throughout the movie, that was done with very good care as well. Even though we had so much action, it doesn't mean that the characters were left by the wayside by any means. I actually cared about all of these characters. Like I said, I was on the edge of my seat. I was wondering, who would make it, who would survive, X, Y, and Z. But, Furiosa's character really took center stage, and like as a female lead was just super empowering and just like completely badass all around. Like, it was great to see. And I think Tom Hardy did a really good job as Max as well. Mel Gibson played Max in the original movies, but obviously Mel Gibson is way too old, to do that now. He's in his 60s. So Tom Hardy, I think, did a really good job, was a man of few words, which was, very fitting for the character and just for the sense of the movie. Since I'm referencing Mel Gibson in the original movies, for anybody that's confused, this movie takes place in between the second and third movies of the Mad Max franchise. Apparently the way that it, the franchise is set up is that each movie is told from a different person's viewpoint, opposite of Max. Therefore, their interpretations of what he looks like, how he was, they're supposed to be different, which explains why, you know, in this depiction he might have a different appearance, you know, than that of Mel Gibson. So it makes sense, really. But, you know, just kind of, you know, to wrap this up, you know, again, I think Mad Max Fury Road, incredible movie, had me on the edge of my seat, was just astonishing in almost every sense. You know, visually, the costumes were amazing, the makeup, you know, was amazing, the real action, the story, the character development, all the pieces were there, you know, for a great film. I think it'll be very exciting to see if this can possibly turn into, you know, a new age Mad Max franchise. You know, again, this is like a continuation. It's not a reboot. You know, but hopefully we can get some more movies out of this new iteration of Mad Max. Like I said in my written review, I give the movie a 9.5 out of 10. You can go check out my thoughts on that on my blog. But again, amazing movie. Definitely go see it. It's definitely an alternative movie. It's really good. It's like a 2-hour rock concert on wheels. Just go check it out. Like, you won't regret it, I promise you.